Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you, many kings and prophets have desired to see what you see, and have not seen it. To hear what you hear, and have not heard it. I thank you, Father, for hiding these things from the learned and the wise, and revealing them to the innocent and the simple.
A Russian airliner has crashed in Egypt's central Sinai with 224 people on board. The passenger jet was flying from the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, bound for the Russian city of St. Petersburg. The Airbus lost contact with air traffic control about 25 minutes after takeoff. The plane then disappeared from radar screens as it traveled at 31,000 feet. The Egyptian Prime Minister's office confirmed it had crashed early this morning, stating it was too soon to determine the cause.
The British government said it was temporarily suspending flights to and from Sharm el-Sheikh over fears the Russian jet may have had a bomb on board. It is also sending British aviation experts to the Egyptian airport to assess the security situation further. Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond.
We have concluded that there is a significant possibility that that crash was caused by an explosive device on board the aircraft.
It comes on the same day an ISIS affiliate in Sinai released an audio tape daring investigators to prove that we did not take the plane down. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has dismissed the ISIS claim as propaganda. The Russians have also been skeptical of any terror plot, but ISIS has recently been angered by Russia's airstrike campaign against them in Syria.
The nearly constant rain around Houston is causing a foul situation. Flooding is causing raw sewage to fill the city's streets.
For the past 2 weekends, we've seen that problem bubble up to the surface. Raw sewage on downtown streets right alongside Buffalo Bayou.
It's a horrible stench, and I've had to wade through it because I live over here in First Ward, so I'm constantly walking through here.
The storms that pummeled Houston on Halloween spilled even more sewage into the bayous. More than 2 million gallons of untreated wastewater carrying bacteria and other contaminants.
Mexico's fire volcano has erupted 5 times in one morning as its period of activity continues. Officially known as the Colima volcano, the 5 explosions spewed ash and smoke into the air, reaching as high as 4,900 feet into the sky. Located in the southwest of Mexico, the fire volcano has been exhibiting continuous activity since July. Over the past months, nearby villages have been blanketed with thick coats of ash, prompting evacuations.
The scene of people trudging through the thigh-high muddy water flooding the streets of Baghdad is becoming all too normal for the millions of residents here.
We are drowning in our own homes. The rain and sewage water has flooded our homes. We have no electricity. Our kids are getting sick.
Our cars have stopped working from the flow of water. The representatives we elected are too busy stealing our money. They don't have time to provide our basic needs.
The floods were triggered by the first rainstorm this winter, which has stretched for several days now. Old and inadequate drainage infrastructure failed to stop flood water.
Torrential rains have made their way into people's homes and paralyzed parts of Baghdad. This has highlighted the decades of corruption which has taken its toll on the Iraqi capital's infrastructure. This burden, however, has proved to be hardest on internally displaced persons and refugees residing in makeshift camps.
Iraq hosts some 3 million Iraqi and Syrian displaced persons. In recent days, many of them were forced out of their makeshift tents after they woke up to knee-deep water soaking their furniture.
We left our homes in Ramadi because of Daesh. We have been staying in tents for several months now, but we had to leave when the rainstorm began. Our tents were ripped by the heavy wind and rain. Right now we're staying in this local mosque. The people here gave us dry clothes and mattresses.
Demands to find a solution to damaged power, communications, water and sewage infrastructure has made its way to the list of demands of pro-reform demonstrators who have been taking to the streets in Iraq for months now. despite government investments to rebuild infrastructure. Iraqis say there has been no progress because of rampant corruption.
Russian warplanes pounded sites belonging to the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda affiliate Al-Nusra Front terrorist groups in the provinces of Homs, Hama, Latakia, Damascus, Aleppo and Raqqa. The Defense Ministry also said Russia's Air Force has struck the area around the Islamic State-held ancient city of Palmyra. The spokesperson reported that a fortification, an underground bunker and anti-aircraft artillery were destroyed as a result of a direct strike. And this is the first time that Russia has confirmed a strike close to the UNESCO World Heritage Site since Moscow denied Syrian state television claims that it hit the ancient city in early October.
U.S. Army Chief of Staff General Mark Milley says Russia is the foremost threat to the United States. Milley noted that Russia is the only country in the world with a nuclear capability to destroy the United States, which makes it an existential threat. He added that Moscow's recent behavior suggests it would be willing to use such weapons. Milley described Russia as aggressive and adversarial to the interests of the United States. He, however, insisted that Washington's capabilities are good enough to deal with anything that Moscow has. General Milley made the remarks at the Defense One summit in Washington.
2 Halloween fireballs believed to be burning meteors have been caught on camera falling in the night sky. The green fireballs were seen in Thailand and Poland, with witnesses capturing the incident from their cars. The shooting stars are part of the Taurid's meteor shower and are dubbed Halloween fireballs due to their occurrence in late October. The Thai Astronomical Society said the meteors seen from Bangkok could be identified as a fireball given its brightness. According to the Polish Fireball Network, the bolide, a term used by astronomers to refer to meteors that explode in the atmosphere, was spotted by many people across the country. The shower is an annual event occurring between September and December as the Earth travels through debris from the comet Encke. The meteors are said to be most visible through to the end of November, with the possibility of spotting as many as a dozen per hour if conditions allow.
It's the largest and most ambitious NATO exercise in years, involving 36,000 troops from more than 30 nations, 140 aircraft and 60 warships. The military training has taken place in Spain, Italy and Portugal. It's designed to test the ability of Allied forces to work together.
The scale of this operation is significant, and NATO's commanders hope it will not just act as a timely deterrent, but also underline NATO's capabilities.
Russia's movement into Crimea and Ukraine led to these exercises increasing in both size and scope, with Russian observers invited to watch.
We see a new reality. We see new security challenges. And to the east, we see a more assertive Russia, which has been willing to use military force to change the borders in Europe, destabilizing Ukraine. And therefore, NATO has to respond and to adapt. And that's exactly what we are doing.
NATO's other major concern is the instability in Syria and across North Africa, which has led to hundreds of thousands of migrants crossing the Mediterranean into Europe this year alone.
What's causing people to leave? What's President Assad? Killing his own people now for 4 years. And Russia, of course, has gone into Syria to prop up Assad before he falls so that they can retain their own foothold in there. Nothing good comes out of that. That's not helping the refugee crisis at all. In fact, there's been a significant increase in refugees that kind of coincides with the same time that Russia has gone in there.
These military drills have also focused on countering terrorism and the new threat posed by the Islamic State. This may have been NATO's most significant exercise since 2002, but plans are already underway for a similar show of strength in 3 years. Dan Williams, CCTV.
Rescue workers in the eastern Pakistani city of Lahore are continuing to look for survivors after a factory building under construction collapsed on Wednesday. Authorities say at least 18 people were killed and dozens more were injured in the collapse. Rescue officials say about 200 workers were inside the building when it suddenly collapsed for reasons not yet known. Rescuers have saved 99 people who were trapped in the rubble and are searching for an unknown number of others believed to still be inside that building. A factory employee says dozens of workers may have been sleeping in an area that rescuers have not yet reached, and that children as young as 12 have been working inside. A provincial spokesman says the rescue effort has been slow because the factory is at the end of a narrow lane, making it difficult for excavators to reach the site. The factory may have suffered structural damage in the strong October 26 earthquake that killed nearly 400 people across Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Several Israelis were hurt in 2 separate attacks by Palestinians. The violence follows a deadly October in which dozens have been killed on both sides. And recently, the hotspot has shifted to the West Bank town of Hebron.
New restrictions were put into place, essentially to protect this mixed area. It's mixed Palestinians and Jewish settlers, to protect the Jewish settlers living in the area. What we're talking about here is an elevated number of soldiers put into this area to protect a few thousand settlers versus 250,000 Palestinians living around here. This is a closed military zone right now, so I can't go into that mixed area behind me. This has been the scene of some intense clashes within Hebron. The past month has been intense in terms of clashes, and there's all sorts of burned debris around me. I'm inside Hebron's main hospital, and this is where people come when they're injured in clashes, in protests. The rooms literally are full of people, and the hospital doesn't have enough capacity to keep people. So what they're doing is they're sending them home after 48 hours, but people are coming back with infections because really they need to be here longer. According to the Red Crescent, 2,600 Palestinians were injured in October by live and rubber bullets fired by the IDF. Despite crackdowns and new guidelines, clashes and attacks continue to happen on a near daily basis.